Hello, everyone. This is Jimmy Kimmel, and folks, I need to tell you about a lawsuit that just landed on Donald 9 and day. Tonight, we begin with a decision that lawmakers, cultural leaders, and media analysts had anticipated, debated, and quietly feared. A decision that unfolded not over months, but in a single day. A single day that sparked bipartisan backlash. A single day that triggered a media firestorm. A single day that forced Congress to draw a hard line. And day. What Donald Trump did this week crossed a boundary that Congress had hoped would hold. And when that boundary cracked, lawmakers did not hesitate. They responded with speed, clarity, and resistance. And day. For weeks now, there had been signals, not official announcements, not signed legislation, just quiet signals that Trump was preparing something unusually aggressive. Trump has been predictable, yes, but he has also been strategic in his predictability. And day. His moves tend to follow a pattern, a rhythm, almost a ritual. But what set off alarm bells in Congress this week was that the pattern went silent. And day. Policy watchers who monitor budget maneuvers know the indicators. The draft language disappearing, the staff briefing stopping, the press hints drying up, the sudden silence, and day. And whenever Trump goes quiet, something loud usually follows. And day. Early this week, congressional budget offices detected what they described as an unusual restructuring proposal, including deep funding cuts that had not been attempted in decades. And day. These are the kinds of fiscal moves Trump only deploys when signaling something specific. Control, leverage, or confrontation. And day. Observers didn't know which category this fell into or whether it was all three at once. But what they did know was that Trump was changing his political posture. And day. And when a former president shifts posture without warning, even slightly, Congress pays attention. And day. The response issued by Congress was not normal. It was not routine. It was urgent. And day. Lawmakers after closed-door meetings described Trump's move as overreaching, politically motivated, and most importantly, institutionally dangerous because it attempted to bypass long-standing norms protecting arts funding. And day. But leverage only works if the target hesitates. Congress did not. And day. Within hours of the proposal surfacing, lawmakers moved to block it. And day. Tonight, congressional sources confirmed that leadership launched a coordinated response targeting the proposal's core mechanisms. And day. They moved before Trump could escalate. They shut down the funding pathway. They blocked procedural shortcuts. They neutralized support channels preparing to defend the overhaul. And day. In other words, Congress targeted the operational heart of the plan. And day. Trump's move wasn't symbolic, it was actionable. Left unchecked, it could have reshaped federal arts funding overnight. And day. Congress responded with force, not impulsively, but strategically. And day. Here's where the story becomes more revealing. And day. Analysts believe Trump's move was designed to test congressional resolve after recent legislative divisions. He wanted to see if lawmakers would hesitate. And day. They didn't. And day. Instead, Congress responded in a way so unified, so decisive, that even Trump noticed. And day. A senior media analyst described the move as a pressure probe, an attempt to reassert dominance. And day. Congress proved it remains both alert and prepared. And day. As reports continued, we learned more. Its committee leaders froze funding routes. Its bipartisan blocs issued joint rebukes. Cultural institutions rallied publicly. And day. This wasn't a disagreement. This wasn't a negotiation. This was institutional resistance. And day. What makes this moment so significant is timing. And day. Trump faces pressure from multiple factions. Hardliners want cuts. Moderates want restraint. Cultural groups want protection. Donors want stability. And day. Moves made under that kind of pressure don't come from strength. They come from vulnerability. And day. Congress's statement, now widely circulated, made one thing clear. They are not willing to allow unilateral power grabs. And day. Calling the move inconsistent with democratic process is Washington language for, this stops here. And day. As this week unfolds, more details will emerge about what Trump hoped to achieve. But what we know tonight is this. And day. Congress acted in time. They protected institutional norms. They sent a message. And day. And tonight, For the first time in days, Trump is quiet. Too quiet. And A. And when Trump goes quiet, he's planning. And A. Because today he was reminded of three things. Congress still has power, limits still exist, and resistance still works.